What is your all-time favorite episode from any TV show? Bad Blood from season 5 of The X-Files. It's a funny one-off with Luke Wilson and Patrick Renat. Mulder puts a stake through the heart of a teenage vampire/pizza delivery boy. Then him and Scully realize the vampire teeth are fake. The kid is no vampire. The episode is Mulder and Scully telling each other their sides of the events to get their story straight before having a meeting with director Skinner. As their stories are coming to a close, Skinner announces they gotta go back and investigate. See, the kid came back to life and bit the coroner's neck with his regular human teeth. Joe's Chunks from Outer Space is a similar and also great episode, featuring Jess Ventura as a man in black. My favorite line from that show and episode, the only one I ever remember, is when the Chung is interviewing the nerd Joe's Chung. "Aren't you nervous telling me all this? After receiving all those death threats." Blaine Faulkner, "Well, hey, I didn't spend all those years playing Dungeons and Dragons and not learn a little something about courage." Scrubs, My Lunch Drive. Cox accidentally infects 3 patients with rabies and loses it. For a show that was predominantly a comedy, that 30-minute episode had more emotion and power than 99% of any TV series. Zach Braff and Donald Faison are doing a podcast now where they rewatch the episodes and comment on them, share behind the scenes stuff, fun stories, guests, characters, and crew. That's a real fun listen. Fake doctors, real friends. I checked it out thanks to all of the Reddit recommendations. 30 tenths. Would recommend. It tricks my brain into believing I'm not trapped in an endless quarantine as I laugh and joke about a favorite show with my friends from high school, Turk and JD. If anyone here has watched The Fawlty Towers, the episode with the Germans, if you haven't watched the show, please do. It's a gem and you'll surely thank me later. Edit. Love all the responses. Each episode is great in its own ways, and people liking different episodes is proof that this is one amazing show. Thank you all. Don't mention the war. I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it. You started it. BoJack Horseman. The episode with his mother's funeral. They should have won an Emmy for that episode. Man, I'm surprised nobody here mentioned stupid piece of shit. That episode was also goddamn incredible, and Holler's one-liner at the very end. That voice goes away after a while, right? Yeah. You Only Move Twice. The Simpsons. Hank Scorpio is a premium tier character who only appeared in one episode. If you could kill someone on the way out, it would help me a lot. I tackled a loafer at work today. Ned, Homer, you borrowed a lot of stuff from me over the years, like some tools and my bathtub. Are you gonna need all that when you move? Homer, yes. Occally doccally Ned, occally doccally neighborino. The hand gesture to move him on his way is wonderful. The Sopranos. Pine Barrens, just a phenomenal episode of one of the greatest TV series of all time. I could watch Chrissy and Paulie arguing and busting each other's balls as they freeze to death in the middle of the woods for hours. We shoulder stopped at Roy Rogers. Yeah. And I shouldered ducked Dale Evans, but I didn't. You're not gonna believe this. He killed 16 Czechoslovakians. The guy was an interior decorator. Apostrophe. Huh. His house looked like shit. Apostrophe. I think this is possibly the funniest line and definitely the funniest non-outright comedy TV series of all time. Scrubs S3E14. My screw up. Ugh. Ripped my heart out. Dr. Cox's face at the end. Is it Where Do You Think We Are? Or the Bad Organs one? Where Do You Think We Are? And the pan out. QQ tears. Edit. Thanks for the QQ. U/banner 307. Ugh. Just mentioning that scene hits me in the feels. One of the most subtle, yet powerful minutes of television in an already heavy gut punch of an episode. You have to appreciate the delivery of the cast here, especially John McKinley, the playful misdirection with Brendan Fraser, and the swift emotional rug pull of the "Where do you think we are?" line by Zach Braff. This episode is hard to top, not only by other Scrubs episodes, which is saying a lot, but other TV series as well. Never forget that the scene directly preceding this one was Turk's talking mole. Amazing tonal shift that practically no other show could pull off. I think the best episode of The Simpsons is Selma's Choice. Basically the plot of the episode, leaving out some of the side plots. is that Selma takes Bart and Lisa to Duff Gardens because Homer gets sick because he insists on continuing to eat this nasty sandwich he got for free. The kids and Homer initially got screwed out of a day at Duff Gardens because their generic great aunt died. She leaves a video will that implores Patty and Selma not to doom themselves to dying alone and instead to get married and start a family. Patty doesn't give a f but it hits Selma hard. Homer, food poisoned, stays home with Marge while Selma takes the kids to Duff Gardens. Long story short, Lisa drinks the water in the It's Small World parody ride and starts tripping like she's on acid. At the end, the day over, Selma is returning Bart and Lisa to Marge, and it's at that point she understands what she truly wants in life, and that she's actually quite happy being alone and just sharing expenses with her sister. All this time she's felt drawn into Patty's orbit or something, and that maybe she would have wanted kids and family, but it's at that moment in the episode she realizes she, too, would rather be alone and raising Jub rather than have a baby and have a family. That's a pretty hot cultural take for the time it came out, like 1992 or 3, and not to mention the whole ducking episode is hilarious. It has such classic Simpsons signage as the Lucky Stiff funeral home and just some of Homer's best childishness. I'm the Lizard Queen is still one of my favorite lines, along with take this, and this, then all of Thessery hope I got the right episode. Selma, thank you doctor. Oh I'm not a doctor. It Crowd. Season 2 episode 1. Gay musical called Gay. I'm disabled. My husband uses a wheelchair, legitimately, and now uses this line in a high-pitched voice whenever I ask him to do housework, get a sing-song going, and send him to Manchester. It's a long drive. Season 3, Episode 10 of Futurama. The luck of the Frierish. Tears every time. Honestly this may be an unpopular opinion, so let me preface with this, Jurassic Park is, and always will be sad as hell, but for me, the episodes showing Fry's family dealing with his disappearance really hurt. The luck of the Frierish especially. It's one of the few episodes of any series that brings me to tears every time I watch it, especially after watching it with my younger brother the day before I moved away for college. Just seeing how much Fry's family cared about him, even though he never thought they did, really ducks me up. Don't know the name of the episode, but the one where Fry helps an Oblonian find his spaceship, and as thanks they let him visit one of his mum's dreams after he disappeared. He doesn't say anything. He just hugs her, and I cry. Game of Thrones is the episode. The episode in Breaking Bad where Jess is on his way to kill those 2 drug dealers that killed his girlfriend's brother and Walt comes zooming in and runs them over with his car and then shoots one. Such a badass episode and powerful moment for Walter White. I like it was half measures. That shit was epic. Plus Mike's story made me really understand him. There was an episode of The Simpsons where Homer's stupidity was discovered to be the result of him having a crayon jammed up his nose into his brain. He got it removed and became intellectual and consequently closer to Lisa. For reasons I forget he got it reversed and went back to stupid, but Lisa found a note he wrote while clever. It showed how loving he was. It said, I'm taking the coward's way out. But before I do, I just wanted to say, being smart made me appreciate just how amazing you really are. Mr. Simpson. This procedure could increase your brain power or possibly kill you. Increase my killing power, eh? Adventure Time. I remember you it was one of the first episodes to demonstrate how emotionally deep the show could get. What was presented as a one-dimensional villain is shown to be a victim in a horrific situation that too many people in the real world can relate to. A kids show shouldn't be able to present the turmoil of dementia as poignantly as it did. A lot of depth developed in that show after that point. Heavy topics and sad parables of real world problems. But I remember you felt like where that started. I came a long way down to find that. I started watching it as an adult and it still blows my mind after having watched through it multiple times. The episode of Malcolm in the Middle where the boys are stealing from the church and selling for profit, and Francis gets to Alaska and realizes he's in for a bad time. Terrific A and B story. I love the episode where it shows 2 parallel universes in one. Lois takes the boys to the bowling alley in the other version, where Hal takes the boys to bowling alley. That episode was nominated for 3 Emmys and won 2. Side note. I know it doesn't have to do with your comment, but I hate how the acting Emmys especially are based on single episodes. I know voters can't watch whole seasons, but they are totally based on what the networks submit. Things like writing and directing I understand why it's a single episode though. Mad Men, Shut the Door, Have a Seat. That's a great one. I also really like one a few episodes earlier. Guy walks into an advertising agency. He might lose his foot right when he got it in the door. Breaking Bad, Season 5 Episode 5 Dead Freight, the train heist episode. I watched it live and have never felt so anxious and exited throughout the entire thing. I was literally pacing the room, I was so tense. Then I screamed duck at the end as it faded to black. Perfectly paced / scripted / directed episode. Edit. Since a lot of people are asking, by live, I meant I watched it as it was broadcast on TV for the first time. Commercial breaks just added more and more anxiety. Streaming doesn't do shows like this justice because you don't get to anxiously await resolution. Just start the next episode. That final shot. The jar with the tarantula falling into the sand. Then darkness. I was screaming at that piece of shit Todd before realizing it was all because Walt said no one can know. My favorite scene was the jail killings under a few minutes. Ozymandias Breaking Bad, Season 5, Episode 14. What? You want me to beg? You're the smartest guy I've ever met. And you're too stupid to see. He made up his mind 10 minutes ago. Do what you're gonna do. Amazing episode. But the best delivered line in television is when Walt and Hank confront each other in Hank's garage. Hank, I don't even know who you are, Walt. If you really don't know, then perhaps your best course of action is to tread lightly. Cranston goes from school teacher Walt to Heisenberg to a hybrid of the two in the course of seconds. Star Trek, TNG, The Inner Light with Picard's flute. Edit. Thanks for the golden bless. Y'all rock. Once More with Feeling, or the Body Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Also Hush. The gentlemen were the scariest villains in that series for me. Getting your heart cut out right next to other sleeping people and not being able to scream. I saw an interview with someone in the cast where they said people didn't even want to eat lunch with the actors who played them because they were so freaked out. I thought the hovering was a cool touch too. Yes, it was hilariously acted. The classroom scene where they're holding up paper drawings to communicate. Genius. The season 4 finale of House. Something broke inside me when Amber died. It was such a powerful episode that hit me real hard for some reason. Also the Snatch Game episode of RPDR season 6. Finally someone mentions it in this thread. The bus crash in the last episode leaves you breathless, and then that episode ends in such a heartbreaking fashion. Goddamn, I love House. The writing on that show was incredible. The 2-episode season finale House's head and Wilson's heart was absolutely gut-wrenching. The fight, Parks and Rec. Why? Because snake juice sales are gonna be off the charts. I feel fine. Actually ran a 5k this morning. Really? No. I puked in the shower. The delivery of these lines is absolutely flawless. Janestown from Firefly. Out of gas for me. My all-time favorite of any show ever. Favorite quote, Mal, ship like this. Be with you till the day you die. Zo, cause it's a death trap. My favorite line is my days of not taking you seriously are certainly coming to a middle. Lost, not Penny's boat. Still gets me. Great choice. The Constant is also a fantastic episode. Yeah, in terms of just like a perfectly constructed episode, it is the tops. Supernatural Mystery Spot episode. I can't hear Heat of the Moment without thinking of it. Rise and shine. Sammy, do these tacos taste funny to you? Heat of the Moment. I laughed so freaking hard at that episode. True Detective. S1E4 who goes there, coupled with the fact that TDS1 is IMO one the best single seasons of TV ever. This episode and the finale always stood out. The 6 minutes tracking shot at the end of the episode is one for the ages. I remember the first time I saw it, when the cut finally happens and it shifts to the chopper view. I felt like I hadn't blinked the entire time. That scene had me so wired. You know the show does a great job when you can feel what the main character is feeling in the moment. Blink Doctor Who. My favorite is actually the Doctor dances. Just this once. Rose, Everybody Lives. I watched the Doctor dances when I was 9. And it gave me nightmares. Still a great episode. Make Love Not Warcraft. How do you kill that which has no life? Do you have a character? No, I have a life. But as you said, you're on your computer all day, yeah, but I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Butters, go home and download the online sensation before we all murder you. The Nightman Cometh. ISIP Season 4 finale. The music, the drama, the romance. So damn great. I know there are better shows and probably episodes I've liked more, but this is always the one comes to mind when asked this question's edit. Loving all the responses with everyone's favorite episodes. A little sad to not see any love for Sweet D as dating a retarded person though. Hey, I thought the rape scene went really well. I'm past here with you. Don't ruin this for me. Mine is Remedial Chaos Theory from Community. I just love how it slowly builds up by showing you a lot of bad possibilities until all hell lets loose. That's my second favorite. I have to stand by the first paintball episode. Modern Warfare is a cinematic masterpiece and I stand by it as my favorite Community episode. Also, Loopy Neurology recreated so accurately a standard Law and Order episode that it receives honorable mention. Donald Glover's bad cop imitation was on point. That doesn't make sense. You don't order ketchup, it's a condiment. Punch's filing cabinet. Hey, thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.